In this video, we're going to explore the accessibility features within Canva for 2026. This is not the first time I've created a video about Canva, but they've added a lot of accessibility components. Welcome to the Accessibility Guide channel. My name is Sean Jordison, and let's jump into the ring. I have a sample document pulled up with a tri-fold design just using one of the built-in templates from within Canva. Now what we can do is we can select the File button and then choose Accessibility. So they have several different menu items available now. Let's go ahead and check Design Accessibility. This will pull up a built-in checker for typography, color contrast, and alternate text. This is pretty handy. We can come in here and say no alt text, mark it as decorative, or if we wanted to describe the image, we could add an image description. You could also have it suggest an alternate text, and then we're going to select save, and this will walk us through all of the alt text needed for this file. Now, just to save time, I'm going to mark no alt text on the majority of these. We're going to say mark as decorative. Perfect. Now we can select the back button and we can review typography. Now it's telling us there's a bunch of small text. I'm actually going to ignore this because there's not firm guidelines on font size from WCAG. Let's go back to the File button, select Accessibility. Next, let's look at Edit Text Semantics. So this allows us to actually apply a header tag to our content. That's right, you can officially apply a heading style. So about our company, we're going to mark it as a heading level 1. And then we have the contact us for more information. Now, the one downside that I'm still seeing is that I can't actually drag this content around, which makes me feel like the reading order is still going to be incorrect. But I do like the ability to add headings to our content. That is a big step in the right direction for accessibility. Let's go ahead and go back to the File button, select Accessibility, and then we have Reduce Motion. Now, I'm not sure what that does, but perhaps if we had content that was moving on the page, it would disable those elements. Let's select File, Accessibility, and then we want to navigate by layer order. But I think if I move these things around, yeah, it's going to start hiding the content, but you can change the layering of the document. I'm not sure why they have that in accessibility. Doesn't really make sense to me, but we at least have the options there. So there is now the ability to apply a heading structure, alternate text, and scan for color contrast for your designs within Canva. Let's see what it looks like when we export over to PDF. Let's select the share button, and we want to download this file, not as a PNG. We want PDF standard. This is what's going to retain our accessibility. Let's select download, and we can review this file. Interesting that it puts, it looks like title content inside of the tag structure. So there's still a lot of problems here. For example, about our and company should not be in different tags. That's not very useful. They're each going to be read aloud. But it does appear that the reading order is actually pretty intact when it comes to setting up the columns. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time on page 2, but I do appreciate that the content is at least coming through as tagged. Now, I thought I had marked a lot of these as decorative. Let's right-click one of these figure tags, select properties. Interesting. I marked it as decorative, but the image is still coming through, and we still need to provide alternate text. So it does appear that there are still some bugs with the Canva export over to PDF. I will say this is a great improvement from previous videos that I've made. This at least gives us a starting file that we can begin to make accessible. And if you want to find out how I can help you get accessible, you can book a meeting with me right now. And as always, I could be your champion for inclusion. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you over in the next video.